Finally finished Freddy Krueger. Finally finished. Check it out. I just finished this. Hello everybody, welcome back to my kinda art, and for today's video I finally finished this Freddy Krueger drawing that I made for Inktober. And this one, I wanted to do this for a very long time in a very detailed way, and let's get on to this tutorial video with step number 1. So for this step, I created a very light pencil sketch, and it was all done freehand. And one of the reasons I did this was not only to help improve my drawing by just eyeballing something, and instead of using any kind of measuring or even a projector to project this onto a wall and then trace it, or any type of a tracing technique, this one just kind of helps with drawing practice, getting better. This is what I started doing a long time ago, and this is actually one of my favorite techniques because it forces you to make sure everything is correct, everything is aligned, the perspective is correct, and it makes you take your time into all the details and having a strong drawing before you get into any of the detailed work. As I made the form complete and made sure everything was aligned, everything is symmetrical, and happy with that, I decided to add some shadows and midtones and just blocking in where eventually I am going to be coloring everything in with ink pens and markers. And this is just going to make it a lot easier to dictate where my lights and darks and midtones are going to be. Now, looking at the reference photo in this step number 3 is one of my favorites because this is the one where I start from the darkest dark and move all the way up to the mediums, because this way it allows me to not only save time by using a marker to go ahead and cover the large areas that I know are going to be pitch black, and it just allows me to know which step that I'm going to take next for the midtones. Now that the larger areas are covered in with marker, I'm going to go ahead and go into the finer detailed areas that the larger markers will just not be able to get in there. So this is where I use micron ink pens and Faber Castell mid-size pens to go into the smaller areas of the eyes, the irises, the mouth, the teeth, and underneath the eyebrows, and just the areas where I'm going to consistently start adding darker tones and then move slowly into the mediums. Not only is it to fill in darker areas, with these mid-size ink pens I am going to also outline and just start shaping up the other details. For example, his classic knife finger gloves, and also this helps move into our next step, which I'm going to be using a gray and medium tone Prisma marker, which is going to be less dark than our pure black marker, and this one also helps speed up the process in having a gradual transition from light, medium to dark. And just in case I didn't mention before, this is going to be a cross-hatching and hatching art style where I use very thin lines next to each other and crisscross from each other, and this also helps create depth. The more lines you place next to each other and the less, this is the way that it creates the illusion of 3D and realism. it's time to add the medium tones with this gray Prisma marker. This is going to help speed up the process and kind of get all of the tones, medium tones that I want, all the gray ones. I'm going in for those classic finger knives for his glove, which look freaking cool. So I'm using a Prisma marker Premier Warm Gray 50%. Right, what I'm doing right now is filling in all of these burn marks, wrinkles in between the dark spaces, so we can have some medium tones in between all the disgusting looking skin that Freddy Krueger has. And I'm using the warm gray Prisma marker. And then I'm finally going to go in with the ink markers to do some cross hatching to finish this drawing off as one of the last steps for the fine details. So one of the final steps that I'm going to do is throughout the entire drawing go in with a very fine micron and Faber Castell ink pen. I think it's a 0.05 fine point ink pen where I'm able to go in and do all of the small details that I love and enjoy doing. It is time consuming, but this is where I can really go into all of the wrinkles and crevices and just start adding all the cross hatching and hatching and all of the small scratches and things like that to kind of make everything have a detailed look. And this is where I'm going to create all of the realism and create the 3D realistic look. Now, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Consider hitting the like button, following me, ringing the bell to stay notified for more content, and check out my other playlist that I have where I have more and similar detailed drawings like this, all in black and white. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and see you later. Bye.